We have an opportunity right now, 2010, to take our country back. And if we don't do it, I'm not sure if we'll get another opportunity. This is what has been motivating this Tea Party movement. It's not about a protest, an organized SCIU, let's go picket, acorn bunch. This is grandmothers and grandfathers and parents with children. You've been to those tea parties. And when you go there, what you see is people that have said, my goodness, the government is now in between me and my family, and not just my children, but we're going generationally down the line, and they're angry, and they're feeling like we're losing our country. We're losing our Constitution. And if we don't do something now, we may never get another chance. And that's what the Tea Party movement is about. It's not organized. It's just folks that are coming out and saying, we've got to do something. And we have this one opportunity to do something. And it's interesting that it's Nevada that gets to lead the way, because we have this man that they've told us is just too powerful to fail. He's just too big to fail. He's got so much power. How are you, Sharron Angle, going to deliver to Nevada the things that Harry Reid has delivered? And I'm going to tell you, he hasn't been delivering. This is let's make a deal, Harry, that we're talking about. And he's delivering for Harry Reid. And we know that this man has failed already. And he's failed with some of these reforms, these takeovers, this bailout, the stimulus, Obamacare. He's failed America. He has also failed Nevada. When we look at our unemployment rate, when we look at the foreclosure rate, we're the highest in the nation in foreclosures. When we look at the values of our homes, and we are at the least, we are at minus 17.5%. That's how much our home values have gone down in this state. And that's in Las Vegas. The next closest city is Detroit at 7.4, negative 7.4. So we are double digits behind the nation for the most powerful man in the Senate to have done that to our state. I call it waterboarding our economy, and people say, well, isn't that rash? No, I think we're absolutely being tortured here in Nevada. And that's why Harry Reid has failed, and that's why we've got to fire Harry Reid. Now, the second question that I'm always asked is, well, Sharron, anybody can beat Harry, right? Ely says anybody but Harry, and they spell that but with 2 T's. And I have to say, it isn't any but that can fill that seat. And there's some good reasons for that. We analyzed what's going on in the voter registration in our state. And what we found are 2 things. First of all, we found that when Harry Reid is polled, his positives are about 33 to 35%. But when he goes up against a Republican, he jumps all the way up to 40%. The voter registration wedge in this state is 20% for independents. So now we have a horse race. We've got 40% Democrat, 40% Republicans, 20% independents, and we've got 5 independents running. We've got the Perot effect. We could lose this thing if we don't have the right candidate that appeals outside of party lines to conservative Democrats and independents as well as Republicans. Republicans may vote for the guy with the R behind their name, but an independent is a cynical voter. They're not a Republican for a reason. They don't trust the party anymore. They've said somehow, we had Reaganomics during the Reagan years, and we had lower taxes, less government regulation, and more individual freedom. And we have come so far away from that that I don't trust the Republicans anymore. They're running right and voting left, and we get same old politics as usual, just on the slower track than the Democrats. We have this phenomena of people that will stay away from the polls. And again, it's a setup. We've got the Ross Perot effect. Now we've got this down balloting thing. And the third thing that's happening here is a population bump that we have. In CD1 and CD3, in that Las Vegas area, is a population of about 73%. And the rest of the state is 23%, and so, 27%. So when the polling comes from Washington, D.C., that's how they're polling. And they're polling 73% down in Las Vegas, and then they're saying, well, that angle, she can't win because she's not registering in our Las Vegas polls. But the truth of the matter is, in a Republican primary, we looked at those figures, and we vote 48% in CD2 and 52% in CD1 and 3. So when you get to the polls, what is happening is the North and rurals will carry an election, and the reason they will is because up here we vote about 50 to 60%, and out in the rurals it's 70 to 90%. Wow. And in Las Vegas, it's 40%. So we have an opportunity right here in northern Nevada to take this primary and then to go ahead and pull this state to the conservative side. And that's what I'm asking you to help me do. So when people say, so Sharron Angle, how can you win? There are these figures that I'm telling you. It works out mathematically. We've analyzed everything, and it works out because 12 of those folks, we have 12 Republicans in this race. 10 of them live in Las Vegas. One of them lives in New York City, and then there's me. and I live in the rest of the state. As Ted told you, I consider myself to be a Nevadan. We're going to divide that 52%, 12 ways. So when you think about what's it going to take to win this race, they figured that if we get a high turnout for the primary, we'll get 150,000 voters out. So now you're going to go 52% of 150,000 are there. Divide that 12 ways, and the rest is mine. And the reason it is not because I say so. Even the people in Las Vegas, those pundits like John Ralston, I say all the time, this liberal John Ralston is my best friend. And the reason is because he's looking at this race and he's seeing the same thing, and he's saying that pesky Sharron Angle could win this thing.